finally have my very first class setup to share with you guys, and that's going to be the M4A1 Recon Assault Rifle. Now, as you can see, it's level 71. I wanted to wait until I actually leveled up this gun all the way through and got to mess around with all of the attachments it comes with, because how can I give you a best class setup if I haven't tried every single attachment, right? So with that being said, my attachments are going to be based around agility, speed, and also maintaining that recoil. Yeah, let's just get into the class setup real quick. First of all, as a secondary, it's up to you, it's personal preference. I'm just using a pistol. So moving on to perks, I got scavenger, so we can replenish our ammo and stick to the same weapon that we're using. Then I got on ghost, so we can stay hidden from those enemy UAVs. Dude, intel is everything in this game. You know, this is a very, very different type of Call of Duty where intel is everything, because the minimap is just not the same anymore. Now we have the compass, and UAVs are basically, it feels rewarding to get those because you know how powerful UAVs are. But when it's being called on you, that's when the enemy has the advantage, and that's how you probably find yourself dying a lot. So you have to run ghost. Ghost is something I will never run without in this game. Then for my third perk, I'm using tune-up. Now the reason why I'm using tune-up is so that I can earn my field upgrade a lot faster. It says that you earn it by 33% faster. Here, let's just go take a look at it. Reduces the charge time of field upgrades by 33%. Now I actually did test this, and the reason why I'm using this is because I highly recommend using the dead silence field upgrade. That will keep your footsteps totally silent. Enemies will not be able to hear you. You are going to be able to earn your field upgrade in literally a minute or less, depending on how many kills you get, because each kill that you get goes towards your field upgrade. So that's about it for my first 3 perks here. Then for my lethals, yes, I know it's the dreaded Claymore, but you know what? This is a question I have to ask you. Do you want to die by Claymore, or do you want to get kills by using the Claymore? You know, it's either you or the enemy. You decide. I mean, that's just the name of the game. Either you do the killing or they kill you. So if you can't beat them, you got to join them. Now, that's why I'm using Claymores. Claymores are going to watch your back when you're holding down an area. I'm not talking about sitting in a corner. I do not advise doing that. And the thing that I like about Claymores is that it allows you to cover all the entrances and the windows. You know, there's so many different points of entry in these maps that we've ever seen before. So having Claymores is definitely going to be useful, because it will watch your back when you're busy looking at the other points of entries or dealing with other enemies. And then boom, you get a kill. Oh wow, there actually was somebody there. So you know, it goes to show that if that Claymore wasn't there, then you probably would have died off of your streak. So you will be thankful more than anything. That's why you got to run a Claymore. So for tactical, just keep it basic. Flash grenade is actually pretty useful too in certain situations, but if you have stim shot unlocked, I definitely recommend that you put that on as well, so you can heal yourself a lot faster, and it will definitely help you survive a lot longer. So going into the class setup right here, I've got no muzzle on, and I'm going to explain that in a little bit, but let's go over the attachments first. I got the FFS 12.4 inch Predator. Now this will increase your sound suppression and aim down sight speed. This is very important in this Call of Duty because of how fast the time to kill is. You know, anything that gives you that mobility and speed as far as aiming down your sights and just shooting the enemy first is super important and key in winning those gunfights. That's why I've got this on, because of the pros and cons. Now this kills 2 birds with 1 stone. It keeps you off of that compass, and the enemies have no idea where you're at when you're firing your weapon, other than just being able to hear it, but very slightly, because it's a sound suppression. But it also does keep you off of that compass as well. Now the reason why I like this one versus using a muzzle is because you do get 2 birds with 1 stone. With a muzzle, it's just a suppression of your weapon. You know, that's pretty much it. Laser nothing, optic is nothing. All right, then for stock, and stock is a big one here for improving that mobility. So the Synguard's Arm Invader will give you aim, walking, moving speed pro. So the pros to this one is that it's going to increase your aim, walking, movement speed. Now in previous Call of Duty such as Black Ops 4, strafing left and right was super important to win those gunfights, and with this equipped, it allows you to do that. So you will find yourself, while you're ADSing and you're sidestepping left to right, you are going to be a lot more evasive and harder to hit, and definitely that will contribute to winning more gunfights. So being evasive is definitely important, and just being a harder target to hit in general is going to help you win more gunfights. So that's why I highly recommend putting this Synguard's Arms Invader stock attachment right here. Then for perk, we've got on the Recon. So this will help you see enemies from areas that you probably didn't even know that they were at, because it's going to expose their gamer tag right above their player body, and that will definitely tell you that there's an enemy around, and that will give you a chance to react, hopefully in time. But you know, without it, you know, let's face it, in Modern Warfare, it's really hard to see enemies because they blend in so well with the map that you just oftentimes find yourself confused, like, yo, where did I just get shot from? But of course, you need to be aimed in order for this to take effect. So make sure you aim in from longer distances just to get a general idea of where enemies are, and then that will tell you, like, okay, which angle can I approach and attack these people from without being spotted first. Yeah, having this on is definitely a personal preference, but it's something that I also highly recommend for people to use. All right, then we got stippled grip tape. Now, out of all the attachments, I feel like this might be one of the most important ones because one of the pros here is aiming down sights, and it's also the sprint to fire speed. So sprint to fire speed is basically shooting your weapon after a sprint. So of course, in winning those gunfights, that is going to be essential. And if you've ever felt like, yo, dude, like I shot first, but I died first, well, you know what? Maybe he has an attachment that you don't have. So that's why sprint to fire speed is super important, and that's why I said it's one of the biggest attachments that you could put on your gun, because it'll help you just be one step ahead of the enemy, just slightly, just a little bit. So being able to pull your gun up a little bit faster in a gunfight is going to increase your chances of winning those gunfights. So that's why it's super important. All right, so our last attachment here is the operator foregrip. Now, the reason why I picked this one is because of the recoil control, and there's not too many cons to it. Yes, there is a slight aim down sight speed decrease, but you know what? I'm not really worried about that because we do have another attachment here. I believe it is this one. So it's basically, it counteracts it anyway, because this one also gives you aim down sight speed. So this one controls the recoil, and this is an attachment that is much needed on this gun because, well, actually a lot of the guns in Modern Warfare do have a lot of recoil to begin with. So putting on this operator foregrip is definitely going to help you control that recoil. Now, one thing I have to say is that just because you've got the recoil control on this weapon class setup right here doesn't mean that you can just point, aim, and shoot somebody cross map and expect for there to be no recoil, because there still will be recoil. So you need to remember and get into the habit of tap firing that trigger so that you could get more accurate shots as well. And adding on the operator foregrip is definitely going to make that a much more easier experience for you by tap firing instead of just holding down on that shooting button. All right, so yeah, that's about it for the class setup, guys. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I definitely wanted to make sure that I tested all of these attachments before I came out with a class setup video for you guys, because this year is extremely different. You know, I need time to level up these weapons before I can actually recommend something to you guys. That about wraps today's video. Don't forget to drop a like if you did find it helpful, and make sure to subscribe if you're new around here. This is a very good stat to show right here, that a lot of you guys actually do watch my videos, but you guys just haven't subscribed yet. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned, turn on the notifications, because I will be coming out with more class setups and in-depth tips that will help you get over this Modern Warfare flu that we all seem to be going through, man. We will get through it together. All right, you guys, peace.